What? There we go. So what I wanted to say is, for anybody that's interested in this, in what we do, there's no commitment apart from your own commitment. So don't feel like, oh, I've got to be there every Tuesday night at 8:30. I've got work, I've got this, I've got, kids or other commitments. Don't worry about all of that. What's important is when can you make it and the commitment you have for yourself. So that's the mindset behind this. So if you have time and you're interested, just jump in, check our YouTube channel. We'll do the recordings of these sessions. Moving forward, it'll be a lot more active in there. We were just on another Zoom call before this talking about other opportunities that we'll be able to offer everyone in our community as well. So it's an amazing, exciting space. Don't worry about, I'm not sure if I've got the commitment. Like, it's only what you're willing to commit of your time. We don't force you to be on these calls, but if you find it helpful, jump in. So that's all I wanted to say about the mindset behind this. It's really about what you want to commit of your time. But the more that you listen to this, and it's good that you, jumped onto the YouTube channel as well, that will really help, because just listening to it in the background while you're driving or something, just hearing those words over and over again, like, what is tokenomics? Oh, what is tokenomics? Oh, that's right. Wendy's going to talk about that today. Or I should quickly go and watch that video and learn about tokenomics, So you just start learning these terminology that I had no idea about when I first started, but I just kept listening to good people, not people just trying to sell you stuff. And we're not trying to sell you stuff. We are just teaching you what we know and what we've done through our experience. Cool. So I'll pass it over to Wendy. Welcome Arij as well into the call. We're just going to go over a few things Wendy's way today.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Wendy here. Okay, so I am a web developer myself, but I have been following the crypto space since 2017. So that's been very, very long time now. So one of my investment strategy in crypto has always been holding various projects long term. So I'm a huge believer in Bitcoin and Ethereum. When it comes to altcoins, though, I'm always a lot more careful in buying what I want, because when you're holding tokens like for altcoins for very long term, right, there's always a huge risk that you're going to lose your money. Okay, so one of the most important things that you need to think about is understanding tokenomics. So what is tokenomics? Tokenomics is that core thing that you need to understand. It combines what you know about economy, basic economy in finance and tech. Okay, so that is a combined word of tokens and economy. So it is actually talking about the basics of the supply and demands of tokens that are available in any kind of cryptocurrency projects. Okay, so in the basic of tokenomics, when you really look at a particular projects, when it start talking about a token, usually what the things that you need to start looking at, first of all, it is supply and demand. The reason for that, these two things has a huge, huge factor on the price for a tokens, whether it's going to go up or not. Okay, so why do each projects they would love launching a token? Okay, I do usually pin this down into three different reasons. Okay, first, for funding. Obviously, like crypto projects, where if they want to build something, they do need funding for that. Okay, so it's like same thing as they would, any company, they want to raise like a money, is the same principle as them raising money for stocks. So they want to get a bit of money, they can pay for developers to help build on that project. Okay. Second, it's the very principle of the governance and decentralizations. Okay, because the tokenomics itself, it actually gives the stakeholders or whoever owns that tokens the power to vote. It's just like you, if you own shares for a stocks, okay, you have the number of power to vote what is going to happen with a project. Okay, as example, if you're looking at a tokens called Ethereum, the ENS, the Ethereum name service. So it is actually a token that talks about Ethereum domains. It actually gives you the governance to decide, oh, what is the technology is going to be built about for that particular project, or what domain that will be approved for that. Or even the Bitcoin itself does have its governance with the proof of work. So you have a bunch of miners who's actually approving what transactions that will go through. So that's why we're talking about the governance decentralizations. So, and we're not talking about just a core central person just deciding what's going to happen. We're talking about having the power given to the community, whoever holds that token, or whoever people that wants to participate in that, okay, towards a common type of goal. The third case is usually about utility. So utility, when they have a tokens, a very, very good example would be like Ethereum itself. You will use the Ethereum to pay for gas fees. Like you want to do a transactions, or you want to mint an NFTs, you burn the gas fees. You use the Ethereum to buy something, okay? There are many, many uses for utilities as well. Other examples I would say would be like those token exchanges like the crypto.com. They do have their own token. It's not simply called crypto, okay? That particular token itself, its own utility use is that you use that token to buy other types of tokens or altcoins or cryptocurrencies because they gives you a discount price for that, okay? So each of that project does have its own utilities, a way how they use that. So when you want to do a research for a token, you need to understand, when does having a token even make sense? Sometimes a project, they could just simply introduce a token for no reason, okay, just to raise money. A lot of like things that comes to mind is meme coins, okay? A lot of it is like, okay, like the first thing that comes to mind, the very first coin will be meme coins, it will be Doji coin, okay? What is the incentive for that? Okay, I would say the narrative it has going for it, okay, it is the very first token that is just for the fun of it, was created as a joke, and people can get behind that idea, okay? But if there are many, many other dog coins out there that is following this, I don't see that as much use for it, okay? So usually when you want to have a token, it actually needs to give the people who owns the token itself the incentive to hold them, okay? So that they want to participate towards something, towards a common goal, okay? So Bitcoin as example, you hold that Bitcoin because you believed in a decentralized finance system, okay? We don't want a central government to take control of our fiat currency. But Bitcoin offers an alternative of having a decentralized finance system, okay? Even Ethereum, our common goal for it is to build like a world-class computer where you can actually build a smart contract surrounding it, okay? So I would say this is like the most important thing you need to look out for when you check on the token, is to understand what is the main purpose that token is it for? Is it towards a common goal or something that everyone can get behind on? One of my favorite token, I would call that, is actually currently I'm looking at, is DESO, Decentralized Social. I quite like that because it is built on the narrative that they are building a decentralized social media. Like you see nowadays, a lot of social media like Twitter, Facebook, it is only controlled by a single company, and they have a lot of power on your data. So we really, really need like a decentralized social media, okay, so that you don't have a single company can take control of your data or your personal data for that. Okay, that is something that I can get behind on. So one thing, again, like I really want to emphasize on is understanding the basics of the supply and demand. Okay, so one thing you need to understand, the most important of two things, is that when you're looking at tokens, how much is the total supply for a particular token? Bitcoin itself would have 21 million tokens, and that's it. Okay, but that is still different from what is currently the circulating supply. The number of tokens is currently going around in the market. Okay, so currently at Bitcoin, again, as example, we kept saying that there is only 21 million Bitcoin in the world, but I think currently we are sitting about 18, 19 million of Bitcoin that is circulating, because you still have that remaining few millions of the Bitcoin still locked. So it's not out yet in the market. Those are not going to be counted for the Bitcoin price itself. So when you're looking at the price, you need to understand how many of the circulating tokens that are still available in the market versus the demand of people buying for it. Okay, so just to show as example, okay, if everybody can see here, okay, one thing I always like to look at is if you go to particular coins, like even the Bitcoin itself, and you have a look here, scroll down, it has here that says tokenomics. Okay, this will tell you from the very beginning how many Bitcoins are there available up to the most recent years that's going to happen, that's going to be released. Of course, if you know about the Bitcoin halving, okay, you need to think about the inflation rate for the Bitcoin itself. So if we know about the Bitcoin halving, every 4 years, the mining for the Bitcoin supply will be halved. So there's a reduced supply of Bitcoin put into the market. Okay, so that's why you see it goes up here, it gets lower and lower and lower. That supports the price for the Bitcoin to keep going up. But if you have an inflation rate of a supply for a particular token that is very, very high, and that gets added to the market very, very quickly, but if there's no demand for it, okay, you can see that the price for that particular token will go down. I think one very good example we can look at is Immutable X. Okay. Okay, this is what you want to see, okay? The market cap. This is what you see, how much money are being put into the market. This is how much money that people have bought the Immutable X token for, okay? So the price at the time, the total of people bought is 1.7 billion, okay? So if you look at today, there's more people there's more money put into Immutable X now. Back then was 1.5 billion, and this is more than double for 3 billion, okay? But the price, what's going on here? It used to be all-time high right at the beginning, but it's never gone back to its all-time high, okay? So the reason for that is the circulating supply of token, okay? When it's just started out, there were only 10%. We're talking about there was only 20 million tokens at the beginning, but there's more than half of the circulating supply that has been gone to the market. Okay, so if you look at the tokenomics here, this is where you see the huge inflation that's go up very fast. Okay, so if there's no demand to that token, but inflation rate is so high, it's not going to keep up with the price. Okay, so you can see the price itself, the market cap, there are demand for it, but it's not catching up with the inflation rate of that token supply that's getting released into the market. Okay, so usually what you want to have a lookout for is that a token that it would have a circulating supply that's close to a total supply itself, so that the price for that token is a lot more controlled. Okay, so I think if you look at, as an example, I talk about, again, decentralized social. This is what I meant. The circulating supply, it should be very close to the total supply here. so that the price will be a lot more predictable. Okay, like sure, it's definitely have gone down a lot since its peak. Okay, but when it goes up now, here, you know that it's not going to be affected by the supply of the tokens because the majority of it has been released into the market. Okay, so that's what you really need to know. Understand the inflation rate. There's also what you can talk about is when people say they burn the tokens. When they burn the tokens, they could be reducing the supply of the tokens in the market. That would usually shoot up the price for the tokens itself, but that rarely ever happens. Okay? Something that you also need to keep a lookout for is that there are some coins where their supply is actually infinity. So Ethereum is actually one. This is why you see here, there's a max supply here as considered as infinite, because the mining is always, there'll be more Ethereum added to it. But every time a gas fee for Ethereum is used, the Ethereum is burned itself, is burned. This is why the price for the Ethereum has been controlled, because there's actually more demand used for the Ethereum itself. There's more demand than the supply of Ethereum getting added into the market. Okay. So just going to share back to my PowerPoint again. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So you need to understand circulating supply, total supply, inflation rate, and the burning rate. Another thing that's not as important, but you need to understand is the distribution rate. You need to understand how decentralized is it? Because there are some tokens, they could be 50% belongs to the project team and only 50% has been sold to the public, okay? If you only have a few stakeholders holding a huge percentage, like 50%, they could one day be the huge whale, sell off all the tokens, and you're gonna lose all your money. That will drop the price like crazy, okay? So the other, again, going back to immutable, when I was talking about their private ratio, it's more than 50%, okay? So if they decide to sell their token one day, that would drop the price of that token a lot more, okay? For some projects, they do say that their tokens is actually locked for a number of years so that the private stakeholders, they will not sell them just yet. Okay, but this is something that you need to keep a really watch out for, especially during the bear market. Okay, if there's a bear market and you hold that token for an extended time, you're gonna lose the value of your token. First of all, there's no demand in cryptocurrency. People aren't buying. Okay, and new supply of tokens are going to be added in. So that's going to drop the crypto price so much. Okay, this is why you see extended bear market, that there will be a lot of altcoins. Back then, when they were so high in price, they will never ever reach back to the all-time price. If you're asking why, this is the reason. There's so much supply that has been added into the tokens. Okay, so that's how I looked at it. Okay, so when I want to check whether a token, it is good for investment or not, I look at, do they have a real problem that they're trying to solve? Is it something that we really, really need? Okay, does it has a good circulating supply that is very close to the total supply already? Is there a demand for it? Like people, do they really want to invest their money into it? And there has to be a huge percentage that is being put to the public so that this is a token that we know that it is very decentralized. Okay, so yeah, this is how I looked at tokenomics. If anyone, you can have questions.
So this is quite advanced because Wendy's got a really good finance background. So if you have questions, and we'll be putting this up on YouTube as well. So make sure that you get the links to our Discord and all of our links, because you'll need to watch this one again. Stuff like this, even I'll be watching this because Wendy explained that really, really well, but very succinct as well. So you'll need to watch this again listen to the same words over and over again. Supply, demand, total supply, circulating supply. If you got it, great. If you didn't get it, that's okay. I didn't get it for a long time when I first started. And because I haven't been going over it a lot, it's like a really good refresher to have Wendy go over this. So no question is a bad question. The only bad question is the one that you didn't ask. So please start asking questions. We've got some time, so let's keep a little bit of time open for questions. And if that was completely over your head, just let us know. If you have some questions, we can go into detail now. We've got time. So is anything too confusing there, or did you get some of that? Did you know the website we were using? We spoke about it last time, CoinGecko. It's an app as well.
I have a question for Wendy. So are you saying the other crypto that you just shared what is it? Immutable or whatever it's called?
Yeah, Immutable X.
Would you consider that to be not a great crypto to buy? Is that the term?
I actually do quite like this particular token. Okay, I do quite like that. And I do own some of it. Okay, because it is the first layer 2 Ethereum blockchain that focuses on NFT and gaming. Okay, so if you've followed cryptocurrency news for quite a bit already, gaming can be quite a huge thing. Okay, and they need a certain ecosystem to help build the games around that. And Immutable X has that kind of narrative going for it. And they do have some big companies supporting it as well, like GameStop for one. Okay, but it's tokenomics that have to be really wary about.
Okay, so when you say the project that they're doing, you're talking about real life projects.
Yes.
Like that's where the investment that from like people like us, when
Yes.
they enter that field, is the money that we put into that company is going to an actual real project.
Yes.
Not some digital thing on somewhere else. Okay.
They do have real world projects, like even Real Games has been supporting on it. Okay. Like if you look into, Rosh actually really likes the game called Illuvium. It is the first AAA game that is actually been fully built already. Okay, and it's actually built on the Immutable ecosystem. So they do have actual games being built on that. Okay, but you cannot think of it as a decentralized. So think of it more like it is.
What do you mean by decentralized? What is that?
When we mean by decentralized, we're talking about tokens, okay, that is not just owned by a single large company owning a lot of tokens. Okay, we're talking about people like multiple
tokens are like shares, basically.
Yes,
that's kind of thing. It's the same term, but instead of like everybody taking the same share, it's sort of spread out to someone who wants to enter this thing. So it's like the similar like method to shares, in a different way. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So when you look up companies who are seeing what kind of project they're doing, do you just go onto Google and look up the company and see what kind of project they're working on, or is there some other website that you look at?
Usually, first of all, I would check out their website on what they do. Okay, most companies, they do have a white paper, okay, that for you to look at. But nowadays, the best way to understand what the project is going on is to get into their Twitter accounts, because they always share the first thing on news updates there. Okay, and then follow into their Discord channels, follow their Telegram channels. You'll see a lot of if a project is really active, there will be a lot of community engagement in there. Okay, these are the first things you check. You don't look at Google, you don't look at YouTube, okay? Because this is how you catch good project as well, very, very early on, okay? That's the way to go, is to look at Twitter, Discord, Telegram, all the social media.
Oh, okay, so you got to look into those ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I put the link in there for you. If you look at what I pasted in the chat, use CoinGecko. That's what Wendy was using to search IMX. So she put in the search bar immutable X or IMX, and it comes up and it says on the right-hand side, website, Twitter, everything is listed there. Because if you go to Google and you do a search, somebody might have paid for their scam website to come up on the screen.
Yeah, okay.
And Roche has a YouTube that goes into that, telling you avoid this, avoid that one. So CoinGecko is nice, mostly safe, because people have put that together and it's tested. So CoinGecko will generally not lead you astray. It'll lead you to the correct websites.
Okay.
White paper, all the links there. Use CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap.
Okay. So other question is, how do you know if a company is doing a project and then you look at their Twitter, how do you distinguish if this is actually a real life, like they've going forward with this project, or is it just in talk? Because you know how Twitter is just literally people just spamming you all day long with all sorts of information. So then how do you start to filter that stuff down? And the same as Discord, everybody's talking about every sort of stuff. So when I'm going to it, I'm like, what the heck? What the fuck are you all talking about here? Same thing for Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what is what? I just need what is the linear way to do this?
Oh, there's really no linear way. How I do my research, right? You really, really need to do a lot of reading from that, okay? Because what I usually do is that I don't just check on social media, okay? When I look at their website, okay, the first thing I need to ask myself first, okay, do the project team even decide to show their face? Okay, because if a project, if you have a project, right, and you see there's nobody even bothered to put their names in that, I'm not even going to bother myself looking into that kind of project. Okay, that's a very red flag to me. Okay, so the first thing I will look at is actually the founders themselves. Okay, so when I looked at the founder, they have their names there, good. Then I'll look at their LinkedIn. Are they active in LinkedIn? Do they have enough experience? Okay. So the next thing I looked at is that, yes, you have the founder's name in LinkedIn. But the next thing I want to check is that, are they at least software developers or have worked in IT or has some experience, some sort of experience in cryptocurrency? Because if it's some random founder, yes, he shows his name, but has no experience, he even built a blockchain project before, I'm not even going to bother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is little things like that you need to check. Check the names, check their LinkedIn, okay? And if they have LinkedIn, check whether if there are actually people doing referrals on them or are they engaged with people on social media with elsewhere. LinkedIn can tell you a lot about the team. Okay, that's my first source. That's my first source. Okay. Second, right, I would check, like especially for a very established projects like Immutable, that you can actually check in the cryptocurrency news website. They will post something, okay? There is a lot of news you can find, like every different news resources. My favorite will be CoinDesk. CoinDesk, okay? That they always tell you news of what's going on, what's happening with a particular crypto projects, okay? Or sometimes even mainstream news, they will talk about this, okay? Not as much, okay? But if you just do like a quick Google search on that, they will tell you. Okay, it's just little things like that you do cross-check. If you are not able to find anything at all about that project, forget it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's basically you have to do your own research.
Correct.
But you have to go off the internet and go to some other interweb.
Yeah.
Some other way of doing things.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I don't normally like looking at social medias, okay? Like even like Discord or Twitter itself. So I don't like getting engaged too much in social medias itself because a lot of people, they will just talk about the price, bull market, and sort of things, right? It's very easy get sucked into that kind of that herd mentality.
Yeah.
Everybody gets suddenly so confident that the bull run is going to happen. You get sucked into it, and then you are not thinking for yourself anymore. Okay. So I only go there if I check for a specific news. When I looked at social media, so one thing I will look at first is how many followers they have. That's it. Or how active the people are. Okay. If you have a lot of people who are very engaged and they're active and all that, that's enough to tell me that people trust this project. I'm not going to get so engaged and they get sucked into the crowd. Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Once you start doing the research, you'll just look straight away. Like when Rosh was, before I met Wendy, Rosh was the one explaining to me how he looks at coins. Because I would go with, like I'm an empath. So if I feel like something's good, I'll get into it. I won't spend too much time doing the research. Wendy is very analytical. So you can just see the way she's talking. I think you, Emma and Wendy, you guys, you're on the same wavelength. You understand each other perfectly. I don't need to butt in your conversation. You guys have this beautiful conversation going. But Rosh, he used to go in and he'll just open up Discord or open up another coin project, and he'll look at it and go, yep, I've seen 100 of these already. I've seen 200 of these already. This is a red flag straight away. Exit, close, next project. And that's what'll happen. You know, you see someone on the street, you straight away know that man or woman or whatever, that's a junkie. Like after a while, you just know. But the first time you're like, oh, that person needs help. Go and give them some money. Then you turn around and then you see them run down the corner and they're buying alcohol. Like they didn't need money. So you'll just start seeing these things. Initially, yes, you're asking all the right questions, but you're in the correct place. And you don't need to do this all by yourself. Wendy's already told you that she likes IMX. She's already told you she likes DESO. So working together, that's what TLS is all about, right? Living smarter, not harder. Why do you have to do all the research that Wendy's already done and Rosh has already done? We've done it 3 times. All you need to do is go into it and have a look and go, okay, this could be my template. This is a good coin. Now let me go and look at another coin. Oh, okay. Now you can start comparing. All right, Wendy liked this one. I can see why she liked it. Why should I like this one? And now you can start doing your own research. You can jump into another chat with Wendy alone if you like, and you can be like, hey, Wendy, I found this coin. What do you think about this one? And then you start the conversation and you're like, oh, cool. Okay, I know what's going on. I picked this coin and it's good.
Yeah.
Good
Cool.
questions. Well done.